Hello, and welcome back to Helo's World. In today's video, I'm going to go over, try to do the best I can with going over yard sales and what I think is best for handling yard sales. Kind of what I would call yard sales 101. I'm going to try to handle this video maybe a little different than sometimes I handle other videos. I like to kind of handle this like I was talking to a friend or talking to, somebody, and maybe it's kind of their first time as yard sales, or maybe they've been to a few yard sales and they don't really know how to organize their sales. I kind of want to talk, every level I want to cover, but I want to just try to give you some ideas. I hope that by watching this video today, you give some ideas on how you do yard sales. I am by no means an expert. I sometimes I kick myself in the butt the way I handle things. There's always room for improvement. So, it's just like I said, I want to do this a more laid back situation with yard sales instead of bulletin points and stuff like that. I'm gonna go over a few solds first, and then we'll come back and I'll kind of hit on some longer term type things. The next section of the video after the solds will probably be quite a bit longer. Okay, let's go over some things that sold. Sold this Jeff Beck vinyl album, $7.99 plus shipping. When I recently did my clean out shelf video, I found this. Nothing amazing. Another $6.99 plus shipping. But it's good whenever you find money. Plus you're just cleaning something up. Sold these Gloria Vanderbilt, Amanda jeans. $12.99 plus shipping. This was a $1 day pickup. I wanted to say something about that real quick. I talk about my $1 day pickups. Some people have different sales in your area. You might have fill a bag or something that's going on. And you might be at a yard sale that's fill a bag or a church sale that's fill a bag or really cheap clothes. You've got to be able to shift your gear on, I got to look for bolos. I got to look for bolos. You're in the Goodwill. You're paying, say, $5 a shirt, $6 a shirt, whatever you're paying. And, yeah, you've got to look for just specific streamlined bolos. But like there's a pair of jeans there for $1. Don't overthink it. It's new with tags. It's going to be worth $1. Okay, they're going to be worth more than $1. So you go ahead and pick that item up. And that's one thing you got to do is, you're at a sale sometimes. There's stacks of clothes everywhere. You might, just what's your price on your clothes? And they may say $3 fill a bag, $5 fill a bag. And if you see decent clothes there, say it's just even your standard Polo Ralph Lauren polos or even a button-up Polo Ralph Lauren button-up or something. Something you wouldn't pay $5 a piece for, but something you might would pay $1 a piece or something. Grab a stack of 5, stick it in your bag, give the lady $5 for fill a bag. It's a definite winner. It's a definite winner. Is it going to make you $1 million? No, but that will definitely help you out. So in general, the way I start out on a Friday or Saturday morning, because generally in my area, yard sales are on a Friday, Saturday morning type situation. I like to go ahead and within the week before, the Monday through Thursday, the Monday through Friday before, go ahead and get me some yard sales, where I'm going, where I'm heading. And the way I do that is through Facebook Marketplace. And I still use Yard Sale Treasure Map some. In my area, some still pop up that way. What I like to do is I either keep those addresses one of two ways. I take and screenshot the yard sales, or each of our phones have notepads on them. Most people have notepads on their phone. So I just put the address on my notepad, and then when I'm starting out my day, I just go ahead and put that address in and head out. Now, generally what I do is like I say, I do some scouting or whatever. I'll punch in the address and see how close it is to my house. And I generally start by going to the, the yard sales that are closest to my house. Now, let's say I'm heading to a yard sale that's 7 minutes from my house. That's the first yard sale I've got punched in for the day. That's the yard sale I ended up liking. Okay. I go over that way, and, 3 blocks from my house, I see a yard sale. I stop. I go ahead and stop. Even though I have a plan, if there's something on my way that I really think is catching an eye, I kind of like it if I'm going down the road and I see a yard sale, nobody stopped. That's a good idea, especially if it's early in the morning. Nobody stopped yet. Maybe I could be the first one there. Maybe I can kind of get in. Which kind of comes back to another issue, what I call yard sale etiquette or whatever, how you treat the person having the yard sale. And that really definitely needs some work. I sometimes see these videos where people go out yard selling, and it's their property. Okay. First of all, it's that person's property. So you need to, be respectful. First of all, if they say 8 o'clock, then, kind of stick by 8 o'clock. If it's 7:55 and you're there, okay, then, but if it's 8 o'clock and as long as, now if they look all set up and stuff and it says 8 o'clock and it's 7:32, then, okay. See, pull up and then ask them, is it all right if I look? If they say no, then also be respectful. Get back in your vehicle, or if it's that great, right, wait around. I would most likely not wait around. There's only one yard sale I can remember that I should have really waited around for. But most yard sales aren't going to be worth waiting like a half an hour to get there. But always be nice with the people. Always be friendly with the people. But now, like I do say this, I generally try to head out around 6 o'clock in the morning. I try to get up around 6 o'clock in the morning, try to get ready, get out somewhere, right before 7. Most yard sales in my area they'll either start at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and they'll run till 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or something like that. But I also try to always take and go around with always take and try to go around, especially early on in the day, and especially if they have a crowd. Don't be overly chatty with the person. They're trying to take care of everybody. Don't try to take this the wrong way, but you're nothing special. Just get your stuff and get out there. They don't need to know your whole story. They don't need to know your life, that type of thing. Now, I've always said, if it's, say, 11 o'clock or so, my day tends to start to wind down around 11 o'clock. That's kind of where I draw my line in the sand. As far as, I usually stay out to 12 or so, but I draw my line in the sand around 11 o'clock where I start kind of can talk to people and stuff like that. Actually, kind of prior to 4 then, unless I really know the person that I'm at the yard sale with, or I'm talking to other people at the yard sale with. I try to stay focused on the yard sale. I would highly recommend that you stay focused on the yard sale. I'm going to go ahead and flip over to a couple more solds, and we'll go back with a couple more ideas. Okay, I'm going to go over some things that sold. We got Tarzan of the Apes. It's got 3 little slides with it, little card. Got $9.99 plus shipping. On these little Viewmaster things, really the Viewmaster itself's not that big of money, but the little slides can be pretty good little money. Sometimes you buy a Viewmaster and it's got a bunch of slides. Your slides is where the money is. Like I said, $9.99 plus shipping on that. Still selling flannel shirts here. Sold this Chaps 2XL. Got about $12 plus shipping on that. Sold a lot of 2. I'm not going to get the second box, but you can picture it. Sold a lot of 2 of these Toy Story Dixie Cup boxes, cups. We got about $17 plus shipping on the Toy Story 2 Dixie Cups. Anytime you find like new old stock, because this is still new, like movie based or something like that. Usually pretty good item. So one of the biggest questions I ever see with yard sales and stuff is kind of how much money should I take with me? Now, generally, as a rule of thumb, I keep around $600 available to me. Generally, I usually have around 300 on me, and generally, the vehicle has around $300 on me. Of course, at 12 o'clock, it doesn't fall that way, but I'm talking about when I start my day out, I generally do that. Now, I find that you don't need nothing more than higher than a $20 bill on you, okay? I don't, 50s and 100s just make life complicated. There's nothing, to me, there's nothing ruder than showing up at a yard sale. I was talking about rudeness and etiquette. See, the first thing you don't want to show up at is at a yard sale where you spend $8 and you hand the person a $100 bill and you expect that they're the responsibility to give you $92 back in change. It's not their responsibility. You need to be prepared. Now I understand that, well, it's their yard sale. They should be more prepared. Don't assume that, okay? Most yard people who have yard sales aren't that greatly prepared, okay? And that's okay. It's once again their property, their yard sale. If they want to be unprepared, that's on them. It doesn't mean you get the opportunity to be rude to them because they were unprepared, okay? They don't have the money. If stuff is not marked, that's part of the game, okay? Stuff is not going to be marked. You're going to have to ask about stuff. For a while there, probably one of the worst things I did was I hated asking how much you want for this and how much you want for that and all that. It's just part of the game. You're going to have to ask if you really want, this train whistle here, and you want to know how much this train whistle is, and you know how much profit you can make on this train whistle. But now, if you start seeing some just real bold items, man, pick the stuff up. And there's another thing, too. Hey, always just go ahead and pick the items up. Don't, because somebody, it's kind of like being at the Goodwill or somewhere like that. If you see something good, grab it. Go ahead and get it on you. And, go ahead and make your deal sometimes and go ahead and get it. And, hey, if worst case scenario, people, make your piles, this, that, and the other. But I've never really lost some stuff, but I've heard people that have lost stuff with piles and stuff like that, And if there's something really good, just go ahead and grab it. Put it physically in your hands, because otherwise, it's a grab and growl system. I don't like it. There's other yard sellers are not going to abide by, I was already asking about that. They're not going to follow by those rules, okay? So don't normally expect that just other yard sellers, other resellers, are going to abide by some rules that you might would abide by. Okay, let's go over more things that sold. Sold Inyo vinyl here. I think it's a couple vinyls in there. We got $34.99 plus shipping on that. Your modern day vinyls can still bring really good money, and you've got a movement through. I'm not exactly sure which generation that would be, Generation Z or something. They like the vinyls too. And they, now their thing is they listen to it a couple times and that's it for them. Because most time when I find vinyls like this, they're still in good shape, but you will find these sometimes $34.99 plus shipping. See something on this channel here right now that you won't see very often. I'm gonna have to look up and see what I got. But I sold a dress. This is a women's dress. It's a Stitch Fix type dress here. I'm gonna have to look how much I got. Sorry about that. Um, what I do with dresses, I look on Dollar Day for dresses, and we got $24.88 plus shipping, by the way, on the dress. But on Dollar Day, I look for new with tag dresses, and I go ahead and pick one up, and when one sells, I go pick up another one. But this would be great for the spring coming up. $24.88 plus shipping. We got this Eagle brand. And really the reason why it sold is the size. It's a size 20, which is about a 3XLT, I think. And it's a 35, 36 tall, so it's a very long shirt. Look at that, $11 plus shipping. This was a 50-cent pickup, just like the next one you'll see. But 50 cents into $11. I got a place where they do even Even though they sell clothes for $1, they'll sell them for 50 cents sometime when they're trying to move between seasons, or if they just get a lot of stuff in, they just give you a good deal on clothes. I've said before that Pearl Snap sales, pretty good no matter what. If you see it even in your bins, just go and pick it up. When it's cheap. But this is American Eagle Pearl Snap. This is just a medium. But we looked at, $10 plus shipping on that. If you picked it up for under $1, and I picked this up, like I said, for 50 cents, that's a good pickup. $10 plus shipping. Now, of course, as earlier as I talked about, it is important to map out a certain route you want to go on yard sales, but you don't have to stick hardcore by that. And I've also said that it was important that, you stay on your mission and don't get overly chatty. That's also important. But also don't be, afraid to talk to other people, or be willing to keep your ears open at yard sales. Last year I was at a yard sale and it wasn't going good that morning. And I'm not talking about that particular sale. I'm talking about just in general. I hadn't found a whole lot. And somebody said, well, they've got some big man's clothes over there, over on a yard sale I recognize. Place where I recognize. Not that I had seen the yard sale even advertised. I hadn't heard about it or seen about it. And I said, what was that you just said? And he said, oh yeah, they had a bunch of big man's clothes. They're Under Armour. They're this, that, and the other. I said, what's that address? And I put that address in and I went there. That was my next, I changed what I was going to do on that. And that was huge because I ended up going to that yard sale, spending $50 some at that yard sale, and made really good made good money. And that's what you got to be able to do sometimes. Sometimes you got to be able, if you need to change on a dime what your plans was going to be for that yard sale day. Maybe you did have this A, B, C, D, E type thing, and you need to change. You got to be willing to flip the script if necessary, because you're out there to make money. You're out there to find stuff. I guess one of the biggest drawbacks, one of the biggest issues I have, and I try to do better, but sometimes I end up messing up too, on both sides of the coin, is sometimes you're going to get junk drunk. And you're buying and you're buying and you're buying, and, it's just not good stuff. It'll happen to you. Don't worry. It happens. And I've actually find out, for me personally, the first few yard sales I go to of the year, I'm anxious or excited to be out yard selling and have a good time, that I end up buying stuff that really wasn't that great to buy. I find it that best to early, the stuff that you do grab that, was bad buys, because you're going to grab bad buys because you're most likely going to be in a hurry. After you get home, after you've taken a nap maybe, you go ahead and organize your bad buys, maybe put them in a box, and you go ahead and donate those. Just get rid of those really quick. Or I usually do, I've been a part of a church sale a couple times at the end of the year, so later on in the year I might get some of those bad buys together, and when I have that church sale, I just put the same price on those items as I pay, just to get my money back. Bad buys are going to happen in the yard sale world, because like I said, you don't have time to look up stuff. And maybe that's a topic I need to go, when to look up stuff. That can be, kind of touchy. So I'm going to type on this issue last, and that's with the end of the video. But I want when to look up stuff. Okay. First of all, if you pick up an item, I'm going to use a different item instead of my train whistle. Say this cup, and you don't know what this cup is worth. You think the cup's a good item, but you don't know what it's worth. And the person says, I want $10 for the cup. It's not some dollar where, just don't think about you buy it. They say it's $10. You're like, I don't know if I want to give $10. What's that thing really worth? How much money am I going to make? How easy is it? So here's the way I break it down. Okay, if it's $10, I go, well, I might have a friend that's interested. Can I take a picture for them or something? because honestly, you're not fibbing to them. You're a customer that would buy this off of you. To me, is a friend. Just because I don't know them by name doesn't mean they're not a friend to me. Um, so I might then at that point kind of, and they won't stare you down. So you might kind of could look it up, okay? And, if it's got a barcode on it or something, or you look up the name brand, this is a Surgeon cup, you can look the item up and see what it's worth, or take a picture or scan it on Google or whatever you do to look up stuff. But generally, I don't look up a whole lot. And sometimes I regret for not taking a couple minutes, but it's all in the ebb and the flow of the yard sale. If you're at a yard sale and it's just busy, crazy, and there's people everywhere and all that, probably looking stuff's going up, it's going to be kind of tough. But if you're yard sale and it's kind of the people aren't watching you, they're just kind of there, and you want to look a couple items up, and it ain't like you got 100 yard sales to go to for the day. Look the stuff up. That's something you're gonna have to kind of learn on your own discretion, Sari, when you look stuff and when you don't look stuff up. But always don't feel bad about saying, hey, I need to take a picture to send to a friend. And even if you've got to, I've done this before. I'll take a picture and then I'll go back, I've got what I'm going to buy anyway, go back to the car and punch away then. What is this? Harley Davidson, leather boots, size 9, da-da-da-da. And look it up, and if it doesn't end up being that great, I ride on down the road. If not, I come back and I'll say, hey, I think my friend's interested. And then, hey, make an offer at that point if you want to. The worst thing they can do is say no. I hope this video ain't been super long. I haven't touched on everything. I'm going to do another video where I handle more of estate sales type thing. If you like this type of content, please give me a like and comment below. Give me some ideas of how you handle yard sales. Like I said, I try to keep this video short. I could have went on probably for an hour talking about it. But thanks for listening. I hope these ideas help. Have a great week.